he was escorted by the General Robert Kibochi, who is the chief of the KDF, to inspect that particular parade. It was quite a colorful event, so to speak, filled with entertainment, comedy. Obviously, the army officers, showcased their skills right about there. And just to, take you through some of these particular speeches, it was quite a short speech by the General Robert Kibochi and also the outgoing president. Short, straight to the point speeches. Uhuru thanked Kenyans, obviously, for the peace and his service, the 10-year service that he has had, and obviously asked KDF to support the incoming administration. He also asked Kenyans to continue. He also noted that Kenya has continued to be a beacon of hope in the region, obviously noting the region, East African region, and obviously the African region. He obviously quoted the Big Four agenda, which has been a key in advancing the country. And obviously notable in his speech was a thumbs up to the KDF for the role in rehabilitating key infrastructure, obviously noting the rehabilitation of the Kenya Meat Commission and obviously the construction of Uhuru Gardens, just to mention but a few. And obviously General Kibochi thanked Uhuru for taking KDF to another level, and we'll obviously be updating you on those particular speeches. Remember, very own Elizabeth Atieno is in that particular place, and we'll be getting to know what happened actually in that particular region. And we do know that from Ulinzi Sports Complex, they will be going to the DOD headquarters for another ceremony. We'll be getting to know what will be happening right about there. And obviously notable is that the president lauded the KDF for the selfless commitment, not only in the security sector, but also in the national development, among other projects handed over to the KDF. Also included the NMS and the Kenya Meat Commission, which I had quoted, which have obviously encountered a major growth. He obviously highlighted the inclusion of women in the military structure as one of his major gains. Let's cross over to the Ulinzi Sports Complex, where, as I told you, our very own Elizabeth is there. Elizabeth, a very good evening to you. I know you've been experiencing this particular entertainment, the speeches. Paint us a picture of what has transpired and obviously what we are to expect the DOD headquarters.
Yes, a very good evening to you, Stanley. I'm coming to you live from the Ulinzi Sports Complex right here in Lang'ata, Nairobi County. And yes, if you can see right behind me, the seats have since remained empty. This place has remained deserted. This is because the grand farewell ceremony for the outgoing president Uhuru Kenyatta has just come to an end in this particular spot. But the president is currently at DOD headquarters, where the pulling out ceremony will be held. Now that's the final ceremony of its kind. Remember, this is a ceremony that is in line with the military traditions and customs. This is a ceremony that happens to each and every president that leaves office. Remember, the first kind of this ceremony was held in the year 2002, when the late President Moi was also accorded the same respect in the grand farewell ceremony that was held at Lang'ata Barracks, which is just a few meters from here. The second event of this particular kind was held in 2013, when the late President Mzee Mwai Kibaki also had the pleasure to inspect the guard of honor in this ceremony. That this ceremony is actually a ceremony that is conducted in line with military traditions and customs to ensure that the outgoing president gets the full respect he or she deserves in as far as the military and the Kenya Defense Forces is concerned. And if my camera person Marcus could just show you around the place, the seats are still empty. People have since left. There's just some clearance going on. We have some military going around just trying to clear the area. And if I could just take our viewers through what happened and what transpired during this particular day. It was indeed a very big day for the outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta. So he arrived, and when he arrived, he was brought to this particular podium that my camera person Marcus is showing you through. He was brought in here using a green Land Rover, which is in line with the military norms and customs and traditions as well. So he was taken round here, and he was there after welcomed by Eugene Wamalwa, who is the CS for Defense. We also had other cabinet secretaries around, and that is, of course, Foreign Affairs Minister Rachel Omamo, also spotted in this particular scene. He thereafter headed to the podium, and when he reached the podium, there was a national anthem that was sung, of course, in his honor. And after that, we had a variety of celebrations. We could see the military just showcasing their talent, marching. We could also see the Kenya Army, Kenya Navy, and the Kenya Defense Forces just trying to showcase their talent in respect and in line with the president's and in line with the traditions of this particular event. Remember that this is the third event to be held in this country. Uhuru Kenyatta is the third president to be able to embrace this event. Remember, the first president was President Moi, and then we had Kibaki, and now Uhuru. But for now, nothing is happening. Nothing much is happening here, but we'll currently be heading to the DOD headquarters for the pulling out ceremonies. The president and the first lady were also gifted. They were also gifted some portraits. You could see some. They were also gifted cows and just a golf set and so much more. We had a lot happening here. It has been indeed a very long day, but a happy day for the outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, who will be handing over his power to President-elect William Ruto come Tuesday next week. So this is just this was the grand farewell ceremony in respect to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Back to you in studio.
Right, Elizabeth Atieno, rather Ulinzi Sports Complex in Langata. Thank you for all that particular update. And remember, the President Uhuru Kenyatta remains the Commander-in-Chief at this particular point until on Tuesday, where he hands over the instruments of power. And still on the same beat, President Uhuru Kenyatta has enumerated some of the gains made in the military in his 10 years as Commander-in-Chief. Speaking during his farewell to the military, the President highlighted the inclusion of women in the military structure as one of his major gains. President Kenyatta has lauded the Kenya Defense Forces for the selfless commitment not only in the security sector but also in the national development. Among projects handed over to the KDF include the NMS and the Kenya Meat Commission, which have encountered a major growth. In his goodbye speech, the Commander-in-Chief has asked Kenyans to remain steadfast and support the next government.
The modernized capabilities and the infrastructure setting up at strategic locations around the country ensured the security forces effectively undertook their constitutional mandate. In addition, the geostrategic military installations established in various parts of the country are a milestone for national, regional, as well as global security operations. On the other hand, as has been stated, the National Defense University, Kenya, will also spearhead strategic, scholarly discourse in security while safeguarding Kenya's interests in the national as well as in the regional arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize enough that a peaceful and stable Kenya is founded on our unity, but also on our patriotism. The cooperation among ministries, departments, and agencies in a whole-of-government approach is vital in safeguarding our unity. And the Big Four agenda, founded on an unwavering desire to transform living conditions, I do believe is a development blueprint to enhance service delivery and to improve lives through providing affordable universal health care, affordable housing, food security, as well as developing manufacturing.
And we'll definitely be updating you on our subsequent 7 and 9 p.m. bulletins on that story. To some politics now, and two former Kitutu Churches South constituency candidates in the just concluded general elections have filed a petition at the Kisii Law Courts challenging the win of Kitutu Churches South MP Anthony Kibageendi. The two petitioners are Andrew Maubi of Wiper Party and Samuel Omwando, who ran on an independent ticket. Through their lawyer, Shedrack Wamboi, the petitioners say the polls were massively rigged, with the will of the people not being realized. Wamboi said that most declaration forms were not signed, rendering the results incredible. Maubi and Omwando said they were seeking the court to do a recount of the constituency's votes.
So we have even provided video evidence to court so that the court can view for itself the kind of malpractices that we saw on the 9th day of August that have led to a declaration that we find from where we stand to be unconstitutional, to be illegal, and must be vitiated.
We've come simply to be told how many votes we got. We were candidates. And in the way things were conducted down on the ground, you could not be able to say who won. But in that confusion, IEPC, led by the returning officer Kitutu Churches South, had the person in mind to declare, and they did.
Now, going forward, there is no day we will talk about the merits of the case or whatever it is, because we feel the rule or the rights of the people were subdued. Because when you have people going or waking up very early to go and cast their vote, they choose their leaders. Then at the end of the day, there are people sitting somewhere hoping that they be declared, because they have been having godfathers left, right, and center. And we do not care about these godfathers, provided what is rightfully for the people of Kitutu South comes forth and is proven to be true. Unless that is done, then we do not have even a constituency to run.
And away from that, Lake Naivasha is Naivasha's main economic activity that supports a wide range of locals from fishing to tourism. However, the continued confrontation between groups of fishermen and authorities are seemingly maligning the gains and reputation of the natural feature. With the new government in place, the dependents of the lake want an overhaul of sanity. And we are now joined by our own Willie Dennis Njiru from Kamera Beach in Naivasha with the latest from the fishing community. A very good evening to you, Willis Dennis Njiru. How are things shaping up on that?
Thank you very much, my colleague in studio. And like you just said it, we are coming live from Kamera Beach here in Naivasha, where behind me is a handful of fishermen and fishmongers, the fraternity of the fishing community around here, who have, unlike you stated there, have numerous clamor to the national government and both the county government in regard to what is happening around this lake. But without taking much time, I'm going to be handing over the mantle to one of the fishmonger here to tell us her name and what is going on at Lake Naivasha. Nakushikia microphone. Jina la kwako, ongea pale.
Majina zangu naitwa Karina Cheng. Mimi ni mvuvi katika UFO Lake Naivasha.
Endelea, tueleze shida iko wapi? Kuna matatizo gani hapa? Tumeona vurugu juzi, sijui mambo iko vipi?
Hatuna matatizo yoyote. Sisi kama wavuvi wa Naivasha tunafua kwa njia ya usalama zaidi. Tulikuwa na shida hapo nyuma wakati Coast Guard wako wameingia kwa maji, lakini kutoka Coast Guard wakuje Naivasha tuko na ulinzi kamili wa ziwa. Wale watu uliona juzi kwa maandamano, hao sio wavuvi halali wa Naivasha. Na ukitaka kujua sio wavuvi halali, ungeuliza mmoja wao anatoka kwa ziwa gani, kwa landing beach gani, boat ni namba ngapi, hange kukueleza. Hao ni illegal fishers.
Sasa tatizo hili limekuwa vifo, alafu kuna wengine wanasema Coast Guard waondolewe. Sijui mna yapi ya kusema?
Sisi kama wavuvi halali wa Naivasha hatukubali kabisa Coast Guard watoke huku, kwa sababu wakati tuliitisha Coast Guard tulikuwa na shida Lake Naivasha. Hiyo inajulikana mpaka na county government ya Nakuru, ya kwamba Naivasha ilikuwa hotspot ya vita kila saa. Wakora hao vijana mwenye mliona kwa street hao ni walikuwa wanachapa mpaka wavuvi. Sasa hao ni wale wanaitwa poachers.
Asante, wacha tusikie kutoka kwa ndugu, kusonga mbele kidogo. Jina
Kwa majina najulikana kama Rafael Juma. Mimi ni mvuvi hapa Lake Naivasha. Mimi ni vice chairman Kamere Beach. Naivasha kama sio watu wa Coast Guard, hakuna ingebaki tu hizi mijengo ndio zingekuwa zimebaki, kwa sababu kulingana sasa hivi tuko na afueni. Mtu anaenda kulala kwa akijua mali yake iko safe kwa sababu ya Coast Guard. Na hapa ile mabe imechibuka juzi yenye umeona, kwa sababu ukiangalia watu wote hakuna mtu mwenye anakaa kwa bichi.
Samaki ya Naivasha inaliwa hadi wapi na athari zake zinakaa namna gani wakati ambapo hamko kazini?
Sasa hii samaki ya Naivasha, samaki ya Naivasha ni karibu Kenya mzima. Hakuna pali samaki ya Naivasha haiwezi enda, kwa sababu hata vile tuko hapa kwa hii bicha Kamere, ikifika asubuhi unakuta watu wanatoka Busia, watu wanatoka Nairobi, kuna watu wengine wanatoka Mombasa, wanakujanga hapa anachoma samaki, baada ya siku 2 anapeleka Mombasa, kwa sababu tuko na imani.
Naeleza muda wangu na nazidi kuwa mdogo.
Mimi nakaa nikijua Naivasha inasaidia Kenya mzima, kwa sababu hata Lake Naivasha iko na kabila zote.
Asante sana kwa muda wako. Just a few echoes here and sentiment to the national government and the county government that we need to have Lake Naivasha. Remember, this lake is regarded to as one of the a few Ramsar sites across the globe, and it's significant that the lake remains with all that it has to offer.
Right, thank you for that, Willie. Dennis Njiru in Naivasha, definitely. So we do apologize for that, maybe some network issues right there. Now to some county government restructuring. Busia County Governor Dr. Paul Otuoma has sent entire executive of the previous administration on compulsory leave and appointed caretaker committee heads to spearhead the realization of rapid results initiative within 100 days in a move seen as restructuring his government. The governor appointed his deputy governor Arthur Odera to head finance task force committee and former member of National Assembly and an economist Michael Onyura to chair the public service management, governance, legal affairs and administration. He also appointed Dr. Olago Olubi as the chairman of health committee.
Secretary, who is also the chair of the office on assumption of office of the governance committee, all CECs members and all CEOs, that is chief officers, are hereby sent on compulsory leave with immediate effect, pending any action by any prescribed law. I mean His Excellency Arthur Odera to chair the task force committee on finance, economic planning and ICT subcommittee. I send those respective officers, the CECs and CEOs, on compulsory leave. They should hand over their responsibilities to the respective directors as they are going to be informed of those particular.
Some education matters now, and a section of lecturers drawn from public and private institutions have called upon the President-elect William Ruto to put in place mechanisms that will rescue public universities, which they say are choking in debt. They also want the incoming administration to not only double the allocations for higher education from 11 to 22 billion shillings, but also invest more in the research component, which most universities in Kenya lack. They also called for the reinstatement of Professor Paul Wainaina, who was relieved of his duties at the Kenyatta University.
About 9,000 lecturers, over 9,000. So don't see this one and call it a splinter group. We are not a splinter group. This is not a splinter union. This is not a formation of any other union. We have only one union taking care of the university lecturers, and that is Universities Academic Staff Union.
Ya vyuo vikuu. Capitation inagusia wanafunzi ambao serikali imepeana kwa vyuo vya kibinafsi na vyuo vya serikali. Jambo la pili, tungependa kusema kwamba ni jambo ambalo tumeelewana wote katika vyuo vya kibinafsi na vyuo vya serikali kwamba katika utendakazi ama katika kupeana usaidizi kwa vyuo vikuu, vyuo vya kiserikali visiangamizwe kwa sababu ya kupeana nafasi ya vyuo vya kibinafsi kufanya nini? Kwa sababu tunajua kwamba katika ile hali ya kuweza kupeana utekelezaji wa kisawa kwa watu wote, tuko na vyuo vya kiserikali vingi.
All universities in Kenya, both public and private, have walked the journey of the transformation of this country by way of supporting His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto and His Excellency Dr. Rigathi Gachagua and the UDA and Kenya Kwanza team. His victory, and it has demonstrated for the rest of us that with hard work and discipline and still determination, one can achieve aspirations and greatness.
Elsewhere, a section of Tana-river residents have lamented over the dire drought situation currently ravaging the area. The community, especially women and children, have bore the greatest brunt of the situation, with many forced to flee their homes. The World Food Programme has, however, pledged to partner with the Tana-river County Government to address water challenges in the region. This as the County Governor, Thato Godhana, promised to continue with his administration plans to drill boreholes, food distribution and water tracking to curb the situation.
Maisha yetu ni mbaya, maji hapatikani, na mfugo wakinunua haina bei, na maji tunachota mpaka sehemu za Waiduka na Koticha pia maji hapatikani. Maji tunaenda mpaka kisima sehemu za Butumuliu.
Hii ukame imetuathiri pakubwa kwa upande wa mfugo, ukosefu wa maji na chakula. Nikiongea upande wa maji, hii ukame imetuathiri kiwango kwamba hao wanawake ambao unaoona hapa wanaenda distance ya kilomita 20 kutafuta maji.
We are also looking at the issues of malnutrition. Our children already, we have at risk, about 26% of our children are already at risk of malnutrition. And that is when I say at risk, is that those below 5 are likely now to go to severe malnutrition. So basically we need to look at the interventions in terms of health. We need to look at the education. The children are not able to get fees because the livestock prices are low. And we expect that likelihood of the failure of the awaited short rain season of October, November, December, then we might slip to emergency phase.